I want to welcome this week our very own, our guest, all the way from the West Coast. It's crazy what's been going on over there, as I understand, in the Jewish community. And there's a lot of questions, there's a lot of concern. The world is definitely, if the world wasn't normal enough, or for at least what we consider normal, it just got a little bit more funky. And listen, just like everything in the entire world, the Torah and the Jews have what to say about everything that goes on. So, without further ado, tonight's Torah is going to be, as always, Lila Nishmas, Shalom Dovber Ben Yosef, and I'd like to ask Sharon to share some Torah wisdom with us.
Thank you, Avi. Hey guys, so good to see all of you. Oh wow, like, okay, gallery view. Anyways, so yeah, like Avi's saying, world is pretty crazy. Some crazy things happening. Thought it was crazy from quarantine and now it's curfew, especially out here in LA. It's kind of, there's no words for it. There's no words for it. You turn on the TV and you think you're watching a movie. It's really, really crazy. And I think one of the first things that you need to look at when the world gets crazy is, what can I do? You look at all these things and what do? We do what everyone does. We go on social media and everyone's blasting their opinions and everyone's doing this, doing that. George Floyd, this, no, that. And we all have our opinions. We all have what to say. But at the end of the day, what real change can we make? What can we do? We're locked in our homes and the world's just going crazy. So I'm going to give you the classic NCSY advisor answer, which is we need to daven, right guys? Like we need to get ourselves together, we need to daven, we need to learn Torah, we need to Torah to the world, let's daven, yeah. And I'll tell you, when I first heard that response, I was talking to one of my friends and she's like, Hashem's giving us more reasons to daven, we gotta daven. And I was like, yeah, okay, like that's gonna work. I mean, we've been davening for the past like how many months and nothing's changing. Literally, Corona didn't end, it's still a thing, and now there's loot. Like, what is happening? Is my davening really gonna change anything? And it's really, really hard to get to the point to believe that Hashem's even listening to us. That me opening my siddur can actually change the world and can actually impact it. And that's something that I've personally been struggling with and trying to understand myself. And that's what I want to be able to share with you guys today. So, why is davening cute? Why is it like, oh yeah, daven, like that's cute. Like maybe it'll work. Sometimes Hashem listens, sometimes he doesn't. Like, it's like, okay. Like, why don't we believe, like, we daven, we open our siddur, it feels nice, but we don't actually believe. We don't really believe. There's this classic story. I don't know if maybe some of you guys heard it, but there's a city and they have no rain. So the rabbi says, you guys want rain? They're like, yeah, we really need rain. There's no rain. They're like, go pray to Hashem. Tomorrow we're all going to go to the top of the mountain. We're going to pray to Hashem and we're going to really believe he's going to bring rain and he's going to bring rain. So everyone's like, yeah, like let's go. And like they go to the top of the mountain and they daven and there's no rain. So they're like, Rabbi, you lied to us. Like we davened, we believed all these things, but there's no rain. And the rabbi's like, really? Where's your raincoat? If you believed that your prayers were going to work, where's your raincoat? You didn't believe. You just said you believed. You just opened your siddur and said it would work. But you didn't actually believe it would work. You didn't actually believe that Hashem's right there listening to you and therefore it didn't work. And that's what we need to do right now. We need to bring our raincoats. But it's really hard. Like we say, davening is just cute. It's just like, okay, like maybe, I don't know, like quarantine's like nothing, everything's canceled. The world 2020 is just over. Like we'll see you in 2021. Like it's just done. Like davening's not gonna work. So the first question we need to ask is, why do we have this attitude? And then the second question is, how do we fix it? How do we correct it? How do we actually bring our raincoats? So in order to understand, Tila, I love you. In order to understand where we're at, we need to look at our past and what brought us to where we are and why we think the way that we think. And one of my favorite ways to explain this idea is with the movie Mean Girls. I'm sure all of you guys are familiar. So you all know Regina George, cool girl, blonde girl, all that. And that catty girl and the other girl, Janice, like the goth one, you know what I'm talking about? Okay. So Regina George, she's so cool, but she's so mean. But everyone thinks she's like this perfect person. And Caddy, she's like, I don't get it. Why does everyone think she's so perfect and nice when she's so mean? And Janice was like, oh, that's simple. It's just years and years of social brainwash. That's like high school is just social brainwash that you can make the entire school think that the meanest girl is so nice, and it's just brainwash. So guys, that's just high school. That's just 4 years. We're dealing with centuries and centuries and centuries of social brainwash. From the Romans to the Greeks, everything to what we think and how we think is everything before us, everything before us. And how does the world think? How did it come to the conclusion? The conclusion that science and intellect is everything. And I'm not bashing science and intellect. I love science and intellect, and I think it's an amazing thing, but it's a tool and it's not the end. It's not the everything. And the world comes and tells us probability is reality. Probability is how the world runs. So therefore, when we open up our siddur and we dive in, we don't bring our raincoats because we don't think it's probable. We don't think that Corona is actually going to end. It's just, you look at the math and you look at the curve and you look at it's just not probable. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. So of course I'm going to dive in, I'm going to try, but it just doesn't seem real. It doesn't seem like my prayers will actually be listened to. And that's why it's hard for us. It's hard for us to bring our raincoats. So what do? Well, we just look back at history and how it brought us to where we are. How about we look back at our Jewish history and see what it has taught us? So I want to talk about Yehuda HaMaccabee, the great Yehuda HaMaccabee. So for those of you who know the Hanukkah story, they didn't have much. They didn't have such big of an army, and it wasn't probable that they were going to win. But what did Yehuda HaMaccabee say? He said, we're still going to fight. And everyone in his army was like, what are you saying, Yehuda? Like, we're not going to win. What's the point? And he looks at them and he says something so important. He says, we never fight to win or to lose. We put in our effort and Hashem does the rest. We never do anything for the results. We don't do things because they're probable. We're not a probable people. Guys, we're not a probable people. You know, when they're studying war and different wars, how to fight in military tactics, do they look at the Israeli wars? No. Why? Because we're not probable. We don't make sense. And one of the greatest proofs is the fact that we're even still alive, guys. The fact that we've survived all the generations. For those of you who have been on TJJ, you saw Avi's 10-page list of all the people who tried to kill us. And the fact that we're still here, it's not probable. So Yehuda Maccabee looks at his soldiers and he says, guys, we're not a people of probability. What are you thinking? Whether we win or we lose, we fight and we believe because we don't go for the results. We don't go for the probability. We put in our effort because, guys, all of you know, God judges in effort, right? God judges in effort. And that's all we're responsible to do. We're not responsible for what happens the second we close our siddur. But we're responsible to open it up and bring our raincoats and believe and know that our efforts count and that Hashem is really, really listening to us. And that's what we need to be working on. We see a world, we see that it's a mess. It's crazy. There's no words. But we need to know that we have a place in this. Yes, it's Hashem's plan. Hashem's doing everything. Yes. But because we believe in Hashem, we have to know that we have a part too. And what's our part? Our part is putting in our effort, like all of you guys so incredibly, always coming to Yeshivat TJJ, being consistent. That's amazing. That's excellent. So much respect for you guys. Putting in your effort, showing up to these Zoom things, even though they're annoying, whatever it is. We put in our effort no matter what Hashem throws our way. And when Hashem, at the end of the day is going to say, why didn't you pray for this? Why didn't you pray for that? Why? We're not responsible for the result. We're just responsible to say, Hashem, even though things didn't change, I still brought my raincoat. I still did it. I still put in my best because I know you judge in effort. So my bracha is to you guys. Never forget, God judges in effort. Open up your tefillah books. Talk to Hashem. Talk to him all the time. Tell him to help save the world because he's really, really listening and we really, really need it. Okay, done.
Sharon, thank you so much. Absolutely. Chazak, liamat. Very, very wise words. If anybody has any questions or wants to speak to Sharon, everyone has her number. She's out in LA. Don't forget about her. Thank you so much, Sharon, for coming out here tonight. And we hope to see you soon on the East Coast, God willing.